Morning on this wet and warm morning. So what we're going to do here is just a little guide to the head gasket change, and just let's see how I approached it. Okay. 2 litre petrol, and first job is a bit of clearance around the engine bay. So spare wheel out of the way, air scoop out of the way, disconnect both batteries and lift them out of the way. And then you're going to need something underneath to support the engine as you begin the serious preparation work. And then it's a matter of taking everything away that's standing in between you and the head. So air box gone, and then don't forget to take the water out. And the way I approach that is simply right. So with the air box out of the way, and then don't forget to take the water out. And the way I approach that is simply take the bottom hose off, remove the filler cap, let it drain, and then it's only a matter of all of the services that are on the head. You're going to take off the heater pipes, the flow and the return. You're going to remove where the main water flow pipes attach. You're going to take off the distributor cap and all the plug leads. Even a good idea just to remove the alternator. Again, what you're really doing is removing weight whenever it comes to lifting the head itself. And as I said previously, you will have it supported down below, the usual jack and a block of wood. And then this engine mount, take the entire engine mount off. Gives you a bit of working room, but disconnect it both sides, take it away. And then the engine stroke gearbox mount down there at the back of the engine, again disconnect as well. So your engine's going to be balanced on the passenger side mount and your support underneath the sump. The reason is because whenever you actually then go to remove the head, the bolts actually come up to a point where they will interfere, or they'll hit the back of the engine bay, and it's particularly the back left hand bolt that you would be able to get in or out. So you've got to be able to drop the engine down so the engine will actually end up sitting at an angle, like so. Okay, and then you're not going to forget to take off your accelerator and your clutch cables. Again, tuck them away somewhere out to the side and keep them safe from kinking. And then that's as much as you strip away. I left the carburetor in place, the inlet manifold and the outlet manifold. And of course, remembering to disconnect the outlet manifold from the exhaust at the top joint. So my idea was to approach it with the minimal amount of removal. Old engine, disturb little, or disturb as little as possible. And so I was intending to lift away the head. The crank, the camshaft cover, the inlet and outlet manifolds all intact. Okay, so now that we've everything stripped away, next little job is to get the cam cover off and just remove the 2 screws or the 2 bolts on the top of the cover. Obviously the plug leads etc. will all be away out of the road, and then prise it off. Okay, so with the cam cover out of the way, proof positive, I think, that we need a new head gasket. And from here, we're into some bolt removal. Loosening sequence, number 1 at the outside, number 10 in the middle. Always start from the outside and work your way in when you're loosening head bolts. And be very gentle, go slowly, and just remove the bolts and any obstructions with them as you go. Now, as you're preparing to take off the head bolts, in actual fact, loosen off the 5 nuts that hold on the front part of the rocker assembly. The back part of the rocker assembly is held in place by the rear head bolts. So front nuts out of the way, and then when you get the head bolts off, carefully remove the entire rocker assembly. And once you do that, you can then take out the connecting rods. Type of engine it is, it's all being pushed from the crank from below, and stick them through a piece of cardboard marking the exact positions they came out of, because that's where you will want to return them to. So with the head lifted away, this is what you're going to be left with, and it might take a little bit of prising and persuasion to part the head from the gasket and indeed the block, but nonetheless you're going to get down to some version of this. For the cylinders where the pistons are at the lower end or wherever, make sure that you put a piece of rag or paper, whatever the case may be, inside there, and it just helps prevent debris dropping in as you clean. And then the next thing, of course, is to gently prise away the head gasket and get the metal exposed. And again, in this photograph, you can see where the exhaust is left hanging, the water pipes have been taken off, the belts have been dropped away, and of course the distributor cap and leads and so on are away to give you a very clear working area. Cleaning the head and the top of the block, a matter of patience. I suppose you'll employ every method available, from scraping some of the heavy debris away very carefully with sharp knife, maybe a spanner, but obviously without making contact with the head itself, down to rubbing it away with a soft brush, and eventually then maybe cleaning it down with a little mix of petrol even, and then polishing off with a very, very fine wet and dry grit. But the point being, on both surfaces, smooth, flat, and with no hint of any debris left whatsoever. Now, first of all, apologies for using the stripped down photograph as the rebuild, but I forgot to photograph it. So we've got the head set back in place by now. We may have used an extended piece of threaded bar or something of that nature as a guide to get the head positioned, sandwiching the head gasket in the middle there. And then the bolt down process is the reverse of taking it out. So starting with bolt 1 in the middle, spiral out until bolt 10, and as always, go very slowly. Take your time, bolt down, bolt bit by bit, until eventually getting it firm and getting to the torquing stage, which we'll comment on in a moment. And then also remembering to put the 5 forward nuts back in place for the cam assembly. And there are the torque instructions for the head bolts. Follow them exactly. And yep, you do have to take the rocker cover off again after the engine heats up and cools down to do your final tighten. But follow the instructions to the letter. And then as a final sort of setup act, as it were, once you've everything reassembled, then adjust the tappets. So simple matter of loosening off the lock nut and adjusting via the adjuster, and getting the old gauges out and measure at the appropriate point. So here we have a wee bit of information on the tappet setting measurements and requirements. So just again, read the information and follow it to the letter. And just to be on the safe side, the inlet valves are the ones closest to you when you're standing at the front of the car, and the exhaust valves are the ones beside the exhaust. And here we go, all rebuilt, running sweet as, lots of power, nice clean water, and what can I say? Good luck, and if this has been of any use whatsoever, please subscribe, like and share. Right, bye.